Before I start this video, I just want to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay? I know I haven't uploaded in a minute because I got exams going on, alright? And I know I'm supposed to upload weekly and all that, okay? I'm really sorry, but like, man, never mind. What the heck am I even complaining about? It's not like I get any views anyways. I mean, just look at my past video. What did it get, like 20 views? What did this one get? Like, oh, 10 views? What about this one? Negative 20. Wait, negative 20 views? How? Okay, enough of the crying. Let's get right to the video. This video contains light spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, you're not chilling, okay? But if you have seen it, you're literally chilling, okay? Now to the opening itself. This opening is my favorite opening in all of anime, and we are about to break down exactly why that is. Everything from the music, the art, the references, and underlying meaning behind multiple scenes of this opening just go to show that this opening is, well, absolute perfection. We see the opening starts off showing Vinland Saga while the music asks what went wrong while the camera pans over a beautiful dark ocean. We also see 3 battleships coming into frame. This gives newcomers a sense of understanding of what they are getting themselves into. Whoa, did you see that? Let's run it back a second. Yes, that instant knife draw. On the mere surface, this may just resemble a cutscene, but this could also imply a build-up to the shooting of our main character by the name of Thorfinn. The past 10 seconds you just watched have more meaning than most anime openings, period. Let's run it back real quick. At first, we see a very colorful green battlefield where war is waging. The camera then proceeds to show a young Thorfinn running through the forest. It then shows another battlefield, however this was more or less lacking of color and subtle darkness to it. It then proceeds to show a young Thorfinn running through the forest yet again, but this time in the midst of the night while fire rages in the back. We then go to the battlefield and then back to a young Thorfinn once again, this time struggling to run through snow. And yet again back to the battlefield, but this time the camera pans to a young Thorfinn no longer running but jumping into the battlefield with bloodthirsty eyes that almost show no emotion whatsoever. This shows his determination to what he's more or less given up everything in order to kill Askeladd for payback for his father. This is actually foreshadowed by the song when the audio says, "What is left for me when I've given up everything?" Next, we switch to one of the most beautiful camera angle scenes I've ever seen, arguably with the best part of the entire song. Here, let's let it play. We get a drone type shot of the battleship where stands Askeladd and Bjorn, all meanwhile displaying the music name and record on screen. While the music arrives at a high note, we see it starts to close in on Thorfinn, the main character. He is shown cleaning his knife while in deep thought, perhaps contemplating his life. And almost immediately after the viewer sees his face and tries to decipher what he is thinking, the opening proceeds to show 2 quick shots. One of Askeladd, the man Thorfinn has dedicated his life to killing, and then a determined Thorfinn. This leads me to believe that this was accurately put in there to give us an idea of what the expressionless Thorfinn was thinking while cleaning his knife, and this cleanly transitions into a small scene of Thorfinn charging into Askeladd, ready to attack with his knife out. And now we stop. We stop because the next 6 scenes are, in my opinion, the most beautiful scenes I have ever seen in anime, period. Beautiful as in the camera work used, the drone type shots taken, and the beautiful art that shows the scenery is just all put together perfectly. But wait, and there's an underlying meaning to it. I almost broke my mic trying to say that. Wow. Take a deep breath. Exhale. And now sit back and enjoy the next 6 cutscenes. Now, I know, that was so beautiful, but there is so much more to those 6 scenes besides the beauty itself. The scene starts off showing a young, very happy Thorfinn running towards his more or less happy family that are working to get snow off their property. With that being said, it shows his mom and sister noticing him, but specifically zooms in on his dad, Thor's, whom proceeds to see him and smile. This gives a sense of happiness with the understanding that these people are a happy family. However, Thor's death and the family's distraught is more or less foreshadowed in the scene literally following it up. Again, a very beautiful scene, yet we zoom in on a young Thorfinn who seems unaware of his father's death. This is more or less perhaps due to the northern lights that are shown in this scene. For those of you who didn't already know, the northern lights feature prominently in Norse mythology. The aurora or northern lights were believed to be something called a Bifrost Bridge, which in Norse mythology is a burning rainbow that acts like a bridge between earth and different realms. It's a glowing and pulsating arch in which led those fallen in battle to the warrior's final resting place in Valhalla. Yes, does that ring a bell? Valhalla from Vinland Saga? A coincidence? I think not. Valhalla in Norse mythology is more or less a place of honor, glory, and happiness. It's perceived as a heaven for where heroes slain in battle reside. You see, this beautiful scene showing the northern lights and Thorfinn, and mom and sister crying is a foreshadowing of Thor's death. But not just that, it tells us that he was a hero slain in battle, and because of the northern lights, he's most likely chilling in Valhalla. How touchy. I cry. We are then shown different landscapes which I honestly couldn't figure out the meaning behind besides to show off the beautiful art itself and to kill time to get to the absolute magnificent foreshadowing done yet again in just a couple of seconds. We are shown a young, happy Thorfinn, but then his expression suddenly changes to a shocked one. This more or less is a foreshadowing of his reaction to his father's death. It then shows a young Thorfinn that was filled with rage and eyes of determination to get revenge for his late father. Then it proceeds to show a little bit older Thorfinn, one who is more experienced and has been through battle countless times. We know this because if you recognize the lighting and the grass from the scene, it was actually shown in episode ? When the lady and her daughter took Thorfinn into custody upon finding him laying in the midst of a river. They took care of him, and in return, he asked them to flee before harm from Askeladd's troops occupied the land. However, they didn't flee, and rather, on the very spot where the opening shows a young vicious Thorfinn is where a very nostalgic moment happened to Thorfinn, in which he witnessed that lady, whom looked at Thorfinn as her own son, cry tears while Thorfinn watched while reminded of his own past. This had significant character development on Thorfinn's part, and we are shown this exact moment within 1 second of only one shot of this opening. What a thing to behold. And finally, we are shown present Thorfinn as far as the opening holds, while he looks much calmer, much more mature, and just holds the traits of a deadly assassin. But what caused him to become like this? Who or what led up to this? Well, we are shown exactly this in the following scenes, starting with the king, to the Joms Vikings led by Floki, to a scene of his father wounded perhaps minutes away from his death, to a quick shot of the knife that he now holds that was once in his father's box, to his mother and sister, to Bjorn, Askeladd's teammate, to Thorkel, to the huge, really huge dude, to Prince Canute, the priest, and that one guy that literally nobody cares about besides Canute himself. And finally, to the root cause of it all, Askeladd, the man who cheated his father and killed him due to blind luck, literally. I mean, what a cheap way to go about things. All of these scenes that are shown contributed to Thorfinn's character development one way or another, but all of this is a lot to take in. I mean, mentally and physically, it's a whole lot, which leads Thorfinn past insanity, which we see in the final scene, Thorfinn standing on a hilltop screaming his lungs out while dead corpses lay around him. The art or the opening itself tells a story, but the music adds another depth of meaning to it. I should go into detail and explain each lyric, but all you have to do is watch the video with subtitles on, and you'll understand everything, so I'm not gonna do that. But I wanted to go over this last scene one more time because it is accompanied by the lyrics, "Hey somebody, try to answer me," in one of the most horrific vocals, in a good way, to add depth to Thorfinn's madness, is portrayed while showing Thorfinn absolutely losing it. I mean, it's the perfect way to open the episode, filling you up with feelings of nostalgia, sadness, and sympathy for the main character. That is all for this video, ladies and gentlemen. Now wait, before you leave, if you're new, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of these and you just enjoy these kind of content in general. I post all sorts of anime stuff. And make sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed the video. Literally only takes a second, so do it, come on, mate. And turn on notifications so you never miss another video. And I guess till then, see ya.